Hey guys, back again. Spencer Smith here with DB Longboards, and today we're going to talk about a little level up above the basics for all y'all that saw our previous tutorial. Getting comfortable, starting to push yourselves a little bit. Awesome. We're going to work on some new skills. Today we're going to really focus on stopping and braking. Braking is something that's incredibly important. It's actually more important than you think. It's going to build confidence more than anything else because it's going to give you that ability to control your speed. Just like brakes in a car, you wouldn't drive like a maniac if you didn't have a way to stop, so you're not going to rip hills or go have awesome time if you don't know how to stop and control yourself. We're going to focus on a couple main things. We're going to focus on foot braking, a little bit of like advanced carving, and sliding. Foot braking is the most controlled, it's the simplest way of stopping on your skateboard. It also works really well at variable speeds, whereas some of the other methods only work at higher speeds. What foot braking is it's taking your foot off your board, just like you were going to push, but instead of adding more speed, you're dragging your foot across the ground and actually slowing down, using the friction from your shoe to brake. When you're learning how to foot brake, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull your foot off of your board, just like you were going to push. But what you're going to do instead of pushing normally is you're going to bring your foot more up like next to where your front foot is, and you're going to slowly tap it towards the ground. To put your foot on the ground, you're going to want to start with your heel and then putting more pressure onto your toes. A common mistake is people will put all their pressure on the front of their foot and it'll catch and shoot your foot back, which doesn't feel good, can throw you off balance and even make you fall. You don't want any of those. You really want to focus on putting just a little bit of pressure and letting it slide and gradually putting more pressure on, more friction to stop quicker. When you get better at it, you'll be able to have less of this long sliding period and just put a ton of pressure down really quick and stop. But that takes a lot of balance and a lot of leg strength. You'll get there, it's just going to take time. So when your foot's sliding on the ground, you can either let it continue to slide and actually fully stop your board, or you can pick it back up just to regulate your speed, say to slow down for a walker on the path or a car coming up the road. You remember an episode ago we talked about carving. Here I said an advanced carving. So what I'm talking about when we're doing more of an advanced carve is you're going to be using more of your body, you're going to be getting lower, and you're going to be shedding more speed. Carving is actually a really good way to slow yourself down, especially if you're starting to wobble, because it doesn't require you to take a foot off, it doesn't require you to kind of change your stance or your balance, it just requires you to turn and to commit. That's the hardest part, is really committing to those turns, because they will slow you down a lot. What you're going to want to do is maybe bend your knees a little bit more than normal, and you're really going to want to look where you go and turn your shoulders. Turning your shoulders is going to turn your hips, and when you turn your hips, you instinctively put more pressure on your feet. What that's going to allow you to do is really dig deep into these carves and transition back and forth, more like you were snowboarding or slashing a wave. Now these transitions can be kind of difficult because they come a little quicker, but the faster you transition, the more time you're going to be on what we kind of call an edge, and the more time you're going to be shedding speed as opposed to just straight lining and going fast. Hey guys, so we changed locations, we're now at a hill. We're going to talk last about sliding. Sliding is when you turn the board really sharply one way or another, and the wheels, instead of gripping, they aren't able to, and they slide across the pavement, and this friction created actually slows you down. You use sliding pucks, which are these big leather gloves that have these plastic pucks as an outrigger and a way to balance. They're also a way to take weight off the wheels and break traction. Sliding is a really complex topic, and it's something that takes a little more than just this tutorial to talk about. So we're going to show you the basics of how it works, but come back for our next episode and we'll walk you through the whole basics of how to actually slide. So the slide we're going to show you today is a Coleman slide. It was invented by Cliff Coleman many years ago, and this is just kind of your simple basic starter slide. So for this Coleman slide, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning on my heels, and I'm going to make sure to turn my shoulders and put weight on my back hand, so my right hand, back underneath me. And when I de-weight, putting my weight on this puck, what it's going to do with a sharp turn is going to allow my wheels to slide out from underneath me. Some people like to grab the rail of their board. I, for one, don't really like grabbing rails, so I don't, but it's something you can't do. Alright guys, that wraps up another tutorial for DB Longboards. I'm Spencer Smith. Have a good one, skate safe.